afternoon, everyone. This is RAND. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Wednesday, April 2-3, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We have a time for change call tonight after 9:15 p.m. Eastern. We're going to talk about the progression, current progression, and actual action across the board. Monetary system, everything. This might sound strange, but when you embrace the very moment you're in, and no matter what's happening, you enjoy that moment, that's when you know you are completely free. And that's a decision that we make, to relax deeply into the experience that we're having right now. But once we consciously and continuously choose this, we can release our rushing habit and lifestyle that believes there's somewhere better than here now. Only then can we access the ability to give ourselves permission to relax. And when we have no concept of time and are truly honoring the timeless, eternal beings that we truly are, we can actually relax into the core of our innermost being. So it's kind of like this. When you decide to leave time, okay? Because we're already timeless beings. We're not constrained by, like on this planet, time. We are completely free. And at one time on this planet, there were no clocks. There really weren't. There were no timekeeping devices. Then what did we do? We lived. And a lot of the times we enjoyed our lives. We didn't have that constraint. And that's a constraint on an unnatural state of being. When you look at the different, from a viewpoint, let's just say you're not judging, but you're just watching, and you perceive or you see how this is all put together. And by choice and influence, so we're influenced on our choices that we make, due through the programming that we receive. And this would be a massive positive change on this planet when time was left behind. We no longer needed it. We really never did need it. It's like this, okay? You come up to a intersection. Intersection's got a traffic lane. Tells you when to stop and when to go, right? Now, in our natural state of being, we wouldn't need traffic lights. We wouldn't need to be told what to do all the time, because we are. We are told what to do all the time. Well, how do you figure that? Well, you look at the societal structure, which is the human psyche of this planet, and you can see it plain as day, very clearly. Now, this is when we talk about everybody shuffling along, and no one knows where they're going, but everybody's saying, well, where are you going? Well, I'm following them. Well, where are they going? I don't know, but since everybody's doing it, then this must be the right way. And in reality, in eventuality, we never get where we believe we're going. It's just a completely redo of a over and over again. Now, you notice how we push and pull against time in our lives. How do we force life to be something other than what we are? How are relationships with people, situations, money, job, and ourselves? Is it stressful? How often, ask yourself this, how often do you actually go with the flow? Okay? Or struggle to move upstream? Notice what your relationship is like with time, and what type of relationship with time that you can have that will truly satisfy you. If you're used to thinking, how can I get more of XYZ and get away from ABC, then you won't ever find that golden palace with diamond floors and walls. Even when your desires get manifested, the ego is pleased just momentarily, as we all know. What does it feel like to release the idea that our desires need to be achieved at a certain time and move into the present moment of feeling, what is my experience of life in this now moment? When we are simply here now, the blissful peace and the magical stillness arises within our very being. When the mind is silent, not asking but receiving life, the Shakti, energy, has nowhere else to go but into you, because you are now here in stillness. And you want to make sure that you're in a very comfortable position. You have no outside interference. You're relaxing into the body. You're as still as a statue, and you're focused on your breath rising and falling. You can maintain the deep stillness inside for several weeks, months, or even years, depending on how much internal, mental, and emotional negative thinking habits you've stopped analyzing and repressing on the inside. You started letting them fully go as they arise. By abiding in this space of stillness inside, something magical occurs along the way. We start seeing our dreams and desires become manifested before our very eyes. By staying present to the now, paying close attention to the innermost core of your being, watching the mind play out its drama, and not being attached to the scenes, you become an exotic master of your life. Now, the twisted truth of all this is that if and when we can just relax, we simply cannot miss the magical core of our innermost being. That's why what we do in this meditation, we relax into our bodies. There may be lifetimes of issues in our way, yet we do not have to figure them all out to drop into a state of relaxation inside. And once we realize that our mind has been working so hard, trying to achieve so much in the outer world by strategizing, analyzing, constantly efforting, we simply let it all go. And then just relax into our core, see the powerful manifester we already are. See, we're doing things that are redundant and we don't need to do. We don't need to do them. See? We make a choice because we don't have any other direction. So we all make this choice, and we live this life how we believe to live it, right? Or are we allowing ourselves to be directed by the ego mind all the way through the life? Because we don't need to strategize, analyze. We don't have to constantly effort. We just let go. And see, that is a crucial key step to really discovering that you're an omnipotently powerful, supreme, manifesting, abundant being that never dies in that body. See, we use these bodies to intensify our manifesting power. So we're like a lightning rod that takes in all the energy and redirects it through the body. Now sometimes our innermost magical core, which is the God, may be buried underneath layers of resistance that cannot be easily moved. Yet, we can start to uncover the surface by asking ourselves those things that we most need to know. Try on these questions and see how they hit you. How can you best contribute to others on this planet? What can you do to make life purely enjoyable all the time? What changes can you make in you so that your love life really shines? When you start to dig inside you and find out why you are here, what your contribution to this world, you'll have to pass by that, which is already at the innermost core of your being. Your God, you, the God, the pure consciousness, the heaven. The bigger the truth is that every obstacle in our lives are a ticket home to ourselves. And whether we like our lives or not, is always a choice of perception and attitude towards it. And when you set aside those negative fear-based thoughts that have been sending your mind into doubt, worry, and skepticism, and consciously move closer to this place of a quiet mind within yourself, then you'll relax. Once you relax into the softest, most gentle, and quietest place, you'll soon find the innermost core of your being. And when you are able to clearly be quiet, speak your truth, and not be afraid of your greatest energy, you'll wake up in the Golden Castle and realize that you were living here all along. Knowledge of the self is the mother of all knowledge. So it is incumbent on me to know myself, to know it completely, to know its minutiae, its characteristics, its subtleties, and its very atoms. Khalil Gibran. It's our highest frequency of knowing oneself, inside and out. Not judging, not analyzing, but knowing oneself. It's like in this moment, in your body, right here and now, look inside towards the source of your thoughts. Where is this thought coming from? Keep looking within. Do not give up. And eventually, you'll connect with your spiritual source. Does this place feel more connected to the core of your innermost being? It's where you get to shape and redirect the experiences you want to create. Shape and redirect the experiences you want to create. What would your week look like if you started every day, when you started every day, from this space inside your being that is all-powerful and conscious all the time? You can't chop a tree down with your hands. Period. Right? I'm talking about big tree. Big, thick, giant tree. You cannot cut it down with your hands. Now, when you have the proper vehicle or tool to do it, it's a cinch. When we look at it and you look at your hands and say, how am I going to be able to chop that down with my hands? You're not. See, we're in this meditation, we relax inside our bodies. We let our mind gently quiet, release any need to do anything. And whatever the mind may tend to dwell on, let it dwell. Meditate on these 4 words when your mind wanders. Unfocused mind experiencing presence. Unfocused mind experiencing presence. You do this twice a day for the next 3 weeks and let go of your other agenda and know this is the most magical transformational thing you can do to awaken your life. Man's chief delusion in his conviction that there are causes other than his own state of consciousness. All that befalls a man, all that is done by him, all that comes from him, happens as a result of his state of consciousness. A man's consciousness is all that he thinks and desires and loves. All that he believes is true and consents to. That is why a change of consciousness is necessary before you can change your outer world. Neville Goddard. We create, and it's like saying this repeatedly forever and ever. We create everything. Everything. Create our lives, everything in our lives. We attract everything. Whatever we're thinking, we're attracting. I kid you not. Let's just say you got 2 couples and they're walking. It's early evening, okay? And they're in an area that you're not going to walk down your sidewalk and get shot. It's pretty peaceful. Now, the one couple, they're contemplating, talking that they want to go down, they want to take a different route on their evening stroll. So they're kind of going back and forth, and they're looking. There's this alley, right? And understand, they've lived in this town, and it's not unusual or anything like that. They just never have decided to just get a shortcut, right? Now, their thinking is nothing about boogeyman and getting mugged and worry, stress, fear about all that stuff. because it's an unknown. They just stroll right down the alley and around and don't think anything of it. Now the other couple, they're taking their stroll, and they're thinking, boy, I tell you, that'd be really dangerous to go down that alley. We don't know what's down there. You know, we could get, a lot of things could happen. Okay? Now, what are they doing? They're manifesting something to occur. They are putting their attention, where attention goes, energy flows. They do it quite intensely, see? So they decide they're going to go ahead anyway, right? And they've got all this crap that they've generated up. So they go down the alley, and they're robbed. Now, you might say, well, that can happen to anybody, depending on where you're at. But I just covered it, that's their town, and they just never decided to go down that alley and never thought about it and thought that this one night that they would go down that alley. So then one would say, you mean to tell me that they, not knowing, that they created that whole thing? Yeah, exactly. So the mugger comes out, and out of nowhere, right? Well, no, the mugger is created to certain situations and circumstances and emotionality through the intent and the focus of the couple worried about going down the alley. Now, obviously, if you're in Tijuana or some other place on the planet and you decide to go down a dark alley and you hear gunshots and everything popping down the alley, you're not going to go down there. Okay, that's different. But when you're in this kind of scenario and situation, you realize that you created it. And you're not mad at yourself. It's not, you're not upset with yourself. You go, I get it. I get it. That's how powerful I am. Now, most of us will not even give that the time of day because we are so moving and rushing from here to there on a continual basis. We're not aware of it. It's not like we're aware of it. It's just how we have been conditioned, however you want to put it. But some of us are deciding not to. And we're catching on to the fact through heart-mindedness that we can. That's what we do. We manifest our lives. We create our lives. Every one of us. We're all omnipotently powerful, supreme, manifesting, abundant beings that never die. And we use these bodies as tremendously powerful conduits, directions, to do that, to manifest. See? The God in the body is omnipotently powerful. The body it's stupendous because we can direct our energy. We can focus and be mindful of our thoughts. A lot of us focus and put our intents out there. But it's kind of like spraying everywhere. It isn't focus. So you get a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And we're always sending out certain frequencies into this universe. Our thoughts and feelings in this create an energetic vibration that is sent out into this world. And this vibration is then reflected back to us by this universe producing physical results in our personal world. And what we send out is exactly what we get back. So you have somebody that's, doing disrespectful things or manipulating, being dishonest and hurtful to others. Okay? Now, none of us wish any ill tidings on anybody. Really, truly. But we do know that how you treat others, right, is how you're going to be treated. That's a proven fact. How you treat others is how you're going to be treated in your life. So if you treat people poorly, you will be treated poorly. If you treat people lovingly, you will be treated lovingly. It's pretty easy, isn't it? But then one might say, how come we don't follow that? Why don't we do that? Doesn't seem like it's a big challenge. Do unto others as you would like to be done unto yourself. Really? What happens? We get too tied up or whatever. Revengeful. Right? We've all been that. We've all been there, done that, been, upset and angry. I'm going to get them. But when we stop and we step back, we realize that I will not wish anything on anybody that I wouldn't wish on myself. I will not treat anybody poorly unless I treat myself poorly. See, because what's in us is what shines outside. So if you're a miserable, dejected, depressed being, that's what's going to spray all over the place when you walk around, you're around people. And, our other parts of ourselves, which are other beings, we pick up on that because we're so connected. You don't have to be clairvoyant. You pick up on it. It's an energy. You feel it. You're not judging. You just go, wow, that being really, I don't know. I just don't know what it was, but boy, I tell you, I couldn't get out of there fast enough. We inherently do not enjoy or like being around others that are sour. We just don't like it. We don't care for it. It isn't our natural state of being. Now, when you're around people who are happy, genuinely, not faking it, but just genuinely happy, you like that. Or when you meet somebody that you don't know, and you hit it off, and you like, because you have commonalities. And you go, holy cow, we've been talking for 2 hours, and it's the first time we've ever met. And then we get around people that we don't. You ever been in a conversation where you go quiet because the conversation comes to a point, and they're not saying anything, and you're not, because you're going, what am I doing here? I don't really care to talk with this person, this being. Really, right? It's truthful. You're saying, I don't really care to talk with them. But I'm sitting here talking, well, hey, nice talking with you. Have a great day. And we do that, just being polite. But isn't it fascinating that you have this, like, endless field of teachers. Endless. I'm not just talking about humans. I'm talking about nature, everything. All we got to do is just look in a certain direction, and I guarantee you, something's going to show up. It's an inevitability. This is our transition from three-dimensional to fifth through our own decision, convictions, and commitment to a much higher vibrational frequency. That's it. Period. We decide. It's not going to be decided for us, I'll guarantee you that. We decide that, hey, isn't it about time we step up into a higher vibrational frequency? And how do we do that? Well, it starts with us. It doesn't start with anybody else. It starts with us. And then the more we embrace it, the more elated we become. The more joyous we feel. And then we discover that all that's coming from within us. Heck, I thought it was out there the whole time. And all along, it was right inside me. I want to manifest things, I'll manifest them. I want to live to be 1,000 years old, I'll live to be 1,000 years old. That's coming. Me just talking about it is halfway there. Just me talking about it, that's it. And everybody listening. And this is it, right here. In order to manifest what your heart is yearning for in this life, simply and consistently emit a high positive vibration. This happens by tapping into those thoughts and feelings that make you feel great about life. Whatever you continuously focus your attention on is what grows and is what you'll be manifesting more of down the road. I'll join you in meditation. I'll return and close this out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still, focused on your breath rising and falling, relaxed into the body. See your life through the eyes of God. At the end, when you look back at your entire life, do you know exactly what you're going to really notice? How all your flaws were really your best beauty marks, and your every seeming imperfection was an exquisite expression of the divine. Your life is so beautiful, so super magical and precious in every possible way. Remember that, and notice how it feels to believe that divinity accepts and loves you exactly the way you are. Take it in. Take it all in. And take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night and the following morning. We will return here tonight, the time for change call, after 9:15 p.m. Eastern, and Thursday, April 24, continue our global guided meditation call after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest. Eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's going on within you or outside of you. Open your heart and allow the magic to flow in.